Hey, this is Robert Naini, your spray foam advisor, and today I want to talk to you about fear. Paralyzing, terrifying fear, and how it affects us and what it causes us to do, and just some of the scenarios where you might experience fear and how to overcome that in your journey, both in your personal life and in your professional life or your business. So the two biggest fears that most people face are the fear of success and the fear of failure. And while they're opposite each other, and it may sound unique and strange, or might sound a little bit weird, typically different types of people experience these two different fears, the fear of success and the fear of failure. Now, the fear of success is typically experienced when you are not sure what to do next. The idea behind it is, if I succeed at this, if I'm actually successful trying to accomplish what I'm trying to do, then what's my next step? And if you don't know what your big plan is, if you don't know, have a plan laid out for your path, then you may struggle at some point due to a fear of success. You may not know exactly what's coming next. You may not know what the next steps are after you succeed in your short-term goal. Therefore, you may stymie yourself. You may put up roadblocks in front of yourself because you're not sure of what the next steps are after you achieve the short-term success that you're targeting. On the other side of that, we have the fear of failure. And this one probably more people can relate to. And it's the idea that, what if I can't do it? What if my goal is too big? What if what I'm trying to accomplish is just not manageable by me? How do I get there? What's the right process? And ultimately, we self-sabotage and we create problems for ourselves in both directions. Whether it's fear of success or fear of failure, we may self-sabotage. A good example of self-sabotage might be knowing that you have 5 components of a project that need to be done, and before you can launch the project, but rather than focusing on the first one, completing it, and then going to the second one and completing it, and moving in some sense of order, we jump from step 1 to section 3 to section 5, back to section 2, without ever actually completing anything. We feel like we're getting stuff done. We're actually spending time working on the project, but we're not doing it in a sensical manner. We're not doing it in any type of laid out process, so it takes a longer time frame for that project to be accomplished because we're not creating some type of game plan, some type of strategy for how to complete the process. So what do we do if we're overcome by a fear of failure or a fear of success? Now, typically, we may not actually realize that it's a fear that we're experiencing. We may just be stuck in a rut. We may just be off kilter. We may not be on our game. We may not be at the tip top of our experiences and using all of our knowledge, skills, capabilities, and expertise to our advantage. But when you start struggling, when you find yourself in the middle of something and it doesn't really feel like it's moving forward, you don't really feel like you're accomplishing anything, oftentimes the root cause of that can be some type of a fear. And the best steps when dealing with fear, whether it's a fear of success or a fear of failure, is to create a game plan, create an action plan, and work with others that are experienced in doing what you're trying to accomplish. If you've never done it before, then you may find it difficult to know exactly what steps need to be done in the process. Find good, talented, experienced people that have had success doing what you're doing and use them as mentors. Bounce ideas off of them. Get feedback from them. Find out if what you're doing makes sense and if you're moving in the right direction. You will get good feedback. They will be able to point you in the next direction, and you'll always have a sounding board whenever you run into an obstacle, whenever you find a challenge along the way. That way you don't get stymied, you don't get stagnated, you don't float in a drift without a course of action. So ultimately what it comes down to is create a plan of action, find a mentor, and then take action daily. Every single day, whether it's a small component or a big component of your plan, take action daily. And if you take action daily, whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever time you can find, put that into your project, put that into your program, put that into what you're trying to accomplish, and you will compound the effects of the small increments of time over a longer period of time, and ultimately you will succeed and you will create something that you may have never thought was possible. And this works in your personal life, it works in your business life, it works if you're trying to do a side project outside of your business life, outside of your job. It works if you are an entrepreneur and you have to work in the business on a daily basis, but you also need to work on the business outside of business hours. Well, if you're working on the business outside of business hours, setting up your processes and your systems and the different ways the business should interact with itself, the way marketing should look, the way sales should look, the way those systems should work together, the way sales should transition projects over to the operations teams. If you're working on the structure of your business, you may not have time to do that during business hours. But even if you're spending 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour a day working on these types of concepts and these systems over a short amount of time, you will be able to put together a very robust program for your business and actually have processes and procedures that apply to your business. So, once again, if you are struggling, if you find yourself in a pit of despair somewhere along the way and you're not sure what to do next, the best steps to overcome fear is to create a plan of action, look for mentors, people who have done it before you and get advice, and then take action on a daily basis. This has been Robert Naini with Spray Foam Advisor. Thanks for checking us out. Catch us on some more videos.